I am on randomstreetview.com. My country is set to Canada, and I am going to press next. And I've landed in Iqaluit? What? This is the scene that I'm going to have to recreate within City Skylines in 30 minutes. I can do this. I can do this, gang. Do you believe in me? Let's go to the workshop. Grab a couple of things from here that I think that I recognize at least, including a snowfall map and a snowfall LUT. We'll fire up the loading screen simulator and get into the game. All right, here is this Liechtenstein map with a snowfall LUT. I think I've got things looking okay. I am going to put a timer on my phone and on screen, and it will go down from 30 minutes. At the end of that 30 minutes, I have to stop everything and see how well I have recreated this completely random view, choosing from anywhere within Canada, and we landed in Iqaluit. I don't even know what to say. Are we ready? Let's press 3, 2, 1, start. All right, gang, you will notice that that timer and my screen seems to be moving faster than, well, normal. And that's because I actually recorded this very poorly or something. I don't even know what happened when I was recording this, but I actually wasn't recording any game sounds. I wasn't recording my voice. It doesn't matter. It was bad. So because I don't have the original audio of me panicking Anakin trying to get through this, I figured I'll speed it up for you guys. You get to watch it all fast, like, and listen to me as I try to describe what's going on here. When I looked at the random street view picture, one of the things that stood out to me most was the white van. So I had to make sure to get that white van. And then there were these cargo containers everywhere, right? So I grabbed a few of them, grabbed some warehouses, grabbed some like excavator stuff. I tried to get a lift elevator thinger, but I couldn't find one quickly enough in yellow. I really didn't want to spend ages in the workshop. So I got what I could, I PO'd it. I do dive into procedural objects a fair amount in this time. I thought that this snow asset was gonna work out. It's rough. I don't use it in the way that I originally had intended to use it, but if you stick around, you will see later on I find a good solution for getting the snow coloring along the hills. A lot of this is me flicking back and forth between the game and the random street view site. And so in the game, when you want to look around, you use your middle mouse button, right? But then on the random street view, I kept trying to press the middle mouse button over there or the not middle mouse button in the game, and I got all confused a lot. A lot of the buildings I put down, I just grabbed like East Coast housing style buildings. They worked well enough. I honestly, now that I think about it, I should have typed into the Steam Workshop like Northern Canada house or something, or like put in Northern Canada and put the residential tag. I wonder if I would have been able to find something a little bit better, but I think the East Coast housing did the job for what I was looking to do. These warehouses and the containers, are the containers also from Avanya? But at least the warehouses from Avanya worked out really well. They were exactly what we needed. And I grabbed a few extra container props as well as some like pallet props, that sort of thing. And then eventually I do finally figure out how to use that like snow mound prop well enough. There is a lot of me like sitting back and forth and trying to lower my camera enough in game to really get to the street level that you see in the randomstreetview.com. I think in just a little bit here coming up, I actually will adjust the perspective quite a bit with the roads. Or have I done it already? I don't even know. But I realized that the road that is behind the like main view, I'm calling it, in the random street view is a lot closer, and the truck that's driving away is a lot closer. So I eventually scooch those together as well. I do try to get some buildings happening in the background. It's really hard, at least maybe it's my old man eyes, but on the random street view, I kind of struggled to figure out like exactly what these buildings were in the background. And I really tried, or I mean, I succeeded. I didn't scroll around in the random street view, and I didn't move the cursor like forward or backwards or whatever. So I really just went off of what I could see at that time. Yeah, so here you can see me adjusting, making the road a little bit shorter, bringing like the perspective in kind of thing, because that warehouse back there should have been closer. And I think it worked out for it much better in the end. There are a whole whack of trees back there, and I remember making the joke that it's like a common reoccurring thing with me in City Skylines. I always just demolish all of the trees, get rid of them, deforestation, it's my bag. But there just weren't any trees in the view that we had on randomstreetview.com. And I think I remember there was this whole thing in high school we were taught about like the tree line in Canada, where if you go north of a certain line or whatever, trees just don't grow. I guess I'm assuming it's because it's so cold. I actually haven't been to the territories. I haven't been to Northwest Territories or Iqaluit or anywhere up there. All of the provinces though. Guys, we have a beautiful country. Holy smokes. If I can just take a moment to say that. I do get into a little bit more landscaping on either side of the road here. I kind of used the landscaping in place of any sort of snowbank asset. I really wish that I had spent like at least just a little tiny bit more time getting a proper snowbank asset. I remember I was looking through the decals a whole bunch, and I really didn't have any decals that made sense. But then I did find the solution of using rocks, because we have a snowfall map loaded up. Everything that you place down is going to have snow on top of it, and thankfully, even if you convert the object into PO, it still has that snow on top of it. So when you PO it, you can rotate it and change where that snow shows up. So I spend a good amount of time near the end just POing rocks and putting them around, and they kind of turn into being my snowbanks. And I honestly think that the scene looks a lot better for it. I think if I had not found the POing of rocks, this would not have turned out nearly as well as I humbly think that it did. I take a little bit of a break at the end because I'm like, you know what, I think I'm done. But I remember putting in these hydro poles and wishing that they were bigger. They were like kind of the one thing I feel like I could have done better. Maybe I should have PO'd them and made them very large or something, but I did the best with what I could and just tinkered around with the rocks a little bit more to finally close up that perspective. And then we come up on the end here and I look around and I think that's really about it. Threw in some panic pallets. I remember the panic pallets, and that is the challenge done. Well, what do you guys think? I actually think that this challenge turned out, I would say, definitely better than the first time that I did this challenge, and we were in like we were in the country somewhere. I think it was in Ontario, wasn't it? I feel like I did pretty well here. I liked the containers. They all kind of turned out fine. The warehouses looked pretty good. I am so happy that I figured out about turning the rocks into PO at the end there. I think the housing up on the hill looks pretty good. To complain about something, I definitely think the hydro poles could have been a lot better, and I could have maybe chosen more specific ones that had like the wires going through them kind of thing. But overall, if I had to give myself a score out of 10, do we want to say 8.2? Let me know in the comments below how you think I did with this. Zooming out and looking at this kind of like from the outside, I think is a cool experience. It really shows what perspective is, right, in this game. If you want to see more challenges like this, I'm going to put the playlist on the screen right now. There are other creators who have done this as well as my other run. Give the video a like if you want to see me do it again, this time hopefully with a recording that lasts. Thanks for watching, gang. I will catch you next time.